First time I came to this hall was about 17 years ago. I had just been elected professor in this at ETH, and the department at the time was Lino Gutzella, who's now the president of ETH, and he explained to me how things work in Switzerland, that when people say 10 o'clock, they mean 10, not 10:01. So I learned that one of the first things you have to do here is learn to get with the program and be like the Romans, be right on time. So on behalf of the Executive Committee of Global Power and Propulsion Society, I would like to welcome you all to this inaugural forum. We have over 250 people who are attending this event, which, given the fact we only announced it 6 months ago, is actually not so bad. We have guests from all around the world, and we are delighted to have many of these guests make the special effort in this snowy day in Zurich to come and visit us here in what I consider our beautiful city, Zurich. There are people from industry, academia, and government, and I want to welcome you all. We have an exciting 3-day program in front of us. This 3-day program has been made possible by a really dedicated group of volunteers who at the last minute came together, and we managed to put together about 100 presentations, many panel discussions, all the presentations 3 peer reviewed, many discussions, many important keynotes that we look forward to hearing. And these volunteers, you contributed your time. So I would like to thank you first. I would also like to thank our sponsors, Mitsubishi Heavy Industry, MHPS, Siemens as our platinum sponsors, Chris and Mr. Theo Maas, and Aoki-san and Mayoma-san and Ito-san. Thank you very much for supporting our start. Also, Dusan, Mr. Kim, I don't know if he's here yet, but thank you all. In addition, we have Ansaldo, Stefan and Ms. Gentile. We have Solar Turbine, Bernard, Winkelmann, Hitachi Energy System, which is Saeki-san, Hanwha, Mr. Sean, MTU, Gear, Gochen Gear, and Carl Engel, and did I miss anyone? Mapna, Mr. Ovlia, and Rolls-Royce, Frank Hasselbach, and others. These gentlemen and lady supported us and made this event possible to a large extent. So I want to thank you all. This gets us off the ground. Now, I would like to then welcome you on behalf of ETH Zurich. ETH Zurich is hosting this event, but we're also having our 125th anniversary. The first turbomachinery research here started in 1892. Professor Arnold Studeler, professor of applied thermodynamics, started research on turbomachinery. And as far as I know, that's the oldest turbomachinery lab in the world. And since then, there have been 4 others, Professor Quibi, Traupel, Giamatti, and I have the honor of being the 5th holder of this chair. Now, Switzerland, specifically Zurich, has had a big impact on gas and steam turbine development. In the 1920s and 30s, there were 3 companies around Zurich developing the first gas turbine power plants. In fact, the first commercial gas turbine was built in Baden and installed in Neuchâtel in 1939. That was the beginning of gas turbine technology for power generation. Today, there are over 10,000 people working in this field in Switzerland. a few billion a year revenue, exports are generated. For a small country, that's actually not so bad. So Switzerland has been involved in gas turbine for years, and the first international conference in gas turbine technology was here in Zurich, 1966, just over 50 years ago. So 50 years later, we are here restarting an initiative which is global. I would like to touch just on one important point before I introduce our keynote speakers. Why did we start GPPS? What is our goal? What is our direction? We established, a group of us, and I will name them shortly, a group of us established this society to support, foster quality in excellence in turbomachinery-related research and technology with application in power generation and propulsion. We actually thought about how do we start it. We used the word global at the very first word. We actually discussed that a lot. Why global? We see ourselves as a big tent. We are a meeting place where everybody from around the world is welcome. There's only one requirement: quality. Now, you say, well, what does that mean? Definition of the word quality is a very challenging thing. And quality in what? And this is what we are struggling now to identify and push forward, a message and a process. This could be quality in papers, quality in research, quality in review, quality in presentation, quality in professional behavior, quality that allows us to strive and push forward. Who is going to define that? It's not going to be me. It's going to be us. Really, the founding group. We are going to define what do we, as a group, as a global society, define as standards for the future generations. The purpose of GPPS is to have a transparent, open, yet rigorous society that pushes that quality forward. About 30 years ago, I attended my first IGTI conference. Nervous as hell. I was standing there, these giants of the field sitting in the front row, and I thought I'm going to be not going to make it out alive. I made it out alive. And the rigor of having been exposed to excellence that challenges you hardened your view of how do I present myself to the world outside, and brought a sense of excellence that I think many of us here share, and we would like to pass it on. We see that as duty to pass it on to the future generations. So purpose of GPPS is to be as much an educational place as it is to a forum for excellence in research, and also help decision makers come up with policies and directions that will help the whole society. The power plants and aircraft engines power the entire infrastructure that we have, from water desalination to electricity grid to air transportation. It's all driven by the machines that this group helped develop, manufacture, build, market. So we should have also a say in how we see our work being used. This will be another area that we will push. I'm going to end my little talk here by just telling you that the day after, tomorrow in the evening in your program, you will see there is a section where we will have a town hall. There's not enough time for today for discussion, but In that town hall, there's about 1 hour where we, as the executive committee, would like to hear from you. Feedback from you to tell us what I just told you, how do you see you can contribute? And what do you think we should do? I would like to next just thank the executive committee. Let's start with Songjin. Songjin's son, Seoul National University, Howard Hudson. Where is Howard? There you are, Howard Hudson. Previously Cambridge. Klaus Brunn, where are you guys? I should have asked you to come in front. I don't see Klaus here. Ooh, I'm going to talk to him. Frank Hoylitz. Oh, Frank is here, good. Toshinori Watanabe. Toshinori is here. And Jay-Z Fang, who is sitting in front here. Did I miss anyone? No. And our advisory committee, I will not name them, there are about 10 to 12 senior people from around the world that have helped us configure ourselves. It's very difficult to start something new, but these people were key to us configuring ourselves. With this background, I'm delighted to introduce to you 3 distinguished speakers from 3 well-known companies. And we start with the first speaker, Mr. Theo Maas. He is the CEO of Siemens Business Unit for Large Gas Turbines and Generators. He has 25 years experience in power generation business, 10 years in mechanical drive, responsible for strategy of all business segments of Siemens GT, especially focusing on innovation technology. During his contributions to the power and propulsion transmission industry, he has held many various management positions in sales, industrial steam turbines and power plants, industrial gearboxes, factories and technology. Mr. Maas, thank you very much for making the trip this morning to talk to us. We look forward to your talk.